It's positively Muskegon. Andy O'Reilly at the comfortable setting of the Norton Shores Police today. We've got Chief John Gale over here. This lovely young thing is from the Health Project down at Mercy, Rachel McCoy, and you're everywhere on everything I do. How do you pull this off? Brian Harris is here as well.
It's a rough life.
Yeah.
When Andy calls, you drop everything and you rush right
I
over
didn't
there.
call this time. It's her.
Oh, well,
And then
when
he
Rachel calls,
then he forced you into it.
and when he pays the bills, then you follow him too.
Harris had to be reminded he was punched in because he didn't want on this. That's all right, though, this time. It's getting to be that time of year, and we are talking about the MAMDP.
Yes.
Bravo.
Got it.
Great job.
Bravo.
I can't tell you the whole thing, but Rachel can. MAMDP, what does that stand for?
So MAMDP stands for the Muskegon Area Medication Disposal Program.
Mm-hmm.
And it's been going strong for over 6 years now, about 6 years now.
6 years?
Mm-hmm.
What brought this about? What was the necessity for the medication disposal?
The great need came about when we came into a dilemma with a lot of overprescribing, and people were having a ton of medication left about, and certain things were starting to take place, and especially in our watershed, we're starting to see a lot of chemicals due to people flushing down antibiotics and medications, in their toilet, in their sink, not really getting rid of them with the correct way that they're supposed to.
Yeah.
So as the numbers have been rising, this came about to really combat those issues with overprescribing, protecting the watershed, and then also just educating community on how to properly dispose of unwanted and expired medications.
Because, you get to be an adult, and after a while, every time you go to the doctor, he hands you a prescription for something.
Mm-hmm.
This kind of stuff backing up, John, this can lead to some crime issues too, can't it, in people's houses?
Yeah, that's why law enforcement gets involved, because we were finding that houses were getting broken into. Quite often, elderly residents had relatives, friends, looking in their cabinets for unused medication, and quite often there was a lot of it there.
Yeah.
Didn't even know that it was missing. And when that ends up on the streets and we have overdoses and abuse problems, that becomes a law enforcement concern.
Yeah. We do have overdose and abuse problems going on with not only, the injectables that we hear, and I wish more people would talk boldly about this stuff, the injectables, the heroin, but the pills and all that other stuff, they're equally as bad.
They are, yep. We're anything that law enforcement can do to help to try to get those off the road.
It's a tough thing. Now you're back in the evidence room now with your retirement career.
Yeah, when they started this program, I was working at the Sheriff's Department at the time,
Yeah.
and they asked me if I wanted to get involved from the evidence standpoint, because the street value on some of these drugs. Now the weights we're going to talk about in a little while, they're going to blow your mind.
Okay.
What we've gotten rid of.
Okay.
Now, you got to realize that not all of them are the heavy controlled substances.
Right,
a smaller
right.
percentage,
Right,
but
right.
a lot of heavy drugs, and you can imagine what the street value was. We've probably discarded, incinerated millions of dollars street value in drugs in this program.
And that's
in 6
just
years.
pills that are sitting around and
Pills
people have
that are
forgotten.
sitting around, yeah.
Unbelievable.
So they wanted security with
Yeah.
the police, and they wanted a responsible person. We can't just have any Joe Schmo have a drug take back day and say, well, don't worry, guys, I'll get rid of these for you. So,
You mean somebody would try that?
Yeah.
No.
So, we've had some armed personnel there, and we've had some techniques to secure the drugs when they're done, and some tubs and locks and this and that, and they go directly to an evidence room, and they stay there until it's time to get rid of them, and in a secret location, not around here. We take them and incinerate them. And every year now it's down to basically two a year. The first couple of years they didn't think it would be so popular. We did multiple events. We were all over. We were up in Whitehall. We were out in Eggleston, and now it's kind of Norton and the city kind of take turns and do one each year, or once a year. But we take anywhere from 2,000 to 3,000 pounds every trip to the incinerator. Twice a year.
That's unbelievable. And these are any kind of medications. You've got your opiate derivatives, but it's the other stuff too, like antibiotics and all that play into the ecology and all that stuff. Really?
Oh, absolutely. Mm-hmm. There have been reports stating that even fish are becoming deformed basically from and looking kind of funny based on all the chemicals in the water. So
that's all it takes, huh?
Mm-hmm.
Wow, unbelievable. And this is just from people flushing them and putting them in the sink and
Mm-hmm.
things like that.
Mm-hmm.
With an event like this, are there people that have some of these things? Either they came from grandma's house and they don't know what to do with them, or they're old stuff. When they pull up to this stuff, are they I'm not going to say suspect, but there's really no questions asked.
It's completely confidential.
Is it?
It's basically the event is ran as like a drive-through process.
Yeah.
You know, you just come in right through the fire department and you just fill out a short survey. It's basically, you know, how you heard about the event, you know, where did you mostly get your medications from, just things like that. And then they give us their meds and then they're ready to go.
That's
and
it.
then we have pharmacists on site that sort all the meds. And it's this event in particular from MAMDP. It's in partnership with the DEA Take Back Events, so we're partnered with them. And so far we've taken back about 12 and a half tons.
Yeah, 25,000 pounds in just under 6 years.
Of prescription.
Of prescription
I mean, we're talking pills here.
pills.
How many pills go into?
It's a lot, man.
That's a
It's
lot of pills, man.
I don't have that many fingers and toes.
Yeah, you got that right.
But you had touched on it,
Yeah.
the confidential part and the police part. Don't let us being there have anyone. We don't ID a soul.
Right.
We don't run license plates.
None of
We're
that.
not waiting down the road to make traffic stops. I mean, we appreciate that.
Even if I show up.
Well, that's a little different story. Your picture is up on the wall,
Yeah,
so
go figure,
we have to
right?
kind of do our obligations there. But no, people shouldn't be alarmed when I say I'm there, or occasionally, you know, the chief will be there, some of his points people, or some of the sheriff's department, you know, they come out. We don't do anything enforcement wise. It is just there for the safety of the medications
yeah,
and make sure
yeah.
nobody tries no.
I'm here to tell you what, I haven't had a drop of even a beer in almost 15 years, and when there's a cop in my rearview mirror, I'm still a little nervous. Getting more comfortable around him. I think I know his truck. I think, you know, but it's an uncomfortable thing for some people, John. And you know, what's your advice to the people that are going, I'm a little afraid? What would you say?
Well, it's gone on 6 years and nobody's gotten in trouble yet.
Perfect.
We're there just to make sure that the community's safe and get these things off the road. We're
Yeah.
not there to interrogate anybody or try to get anybody in trouble. We're just trying to get them off the streets.
It's a great time to mention that all the police departments have a black box that they can
Yes.
go to anytime instead
Yeah.
of waiting for an event.
Yeah.
If they got a handful of stuff, they can stop at any police department. Sheriff's Department has two, one at Oak Street and one downtown, and every other department in Muskegon County has
Yeah.
a box, you know, the Health Coalition helped
Yeah.
secure, and they can just come in, no one asks names, IDs or
Nothing.
anything. Then they pull the lid and drop them down in there, and each evidence officer at the department, when it gets full up, will take it out, box it up,
Yep.
mark it, document it, and then hold on to it till the next event. We pile it in one big truck and take it to the incinerator.
Yeah, I was talking to Chief Boone in Roosevelt Park the other day, and he was even telling us, just in Roosevelt Park, how often that thing gets filled up
Oh,
with
yeah.
unneeded, unwanted, you know, expired medicine and stuff like that. So people are getting the message. They're finding these things out, but the big event. Now, is there any incentive to come to this event?
Not really.
No donuts, no
No.
apple cider, nothing.
Just do the right thing.
Do the right thing. Look at her.
I'm trying to get you guys some donuts at this thing. You know, if you're out there selling donuts, there's cops and they'll be there, and they like donuts. So
Yeah.
Just emptying out the medicine cabinet.
it's a good thing to do.
and helping
We-
the environment.
Yeah,
That's the benefit.
and it was a little tricky early on with like the syringes and stuff. There's
Yep.
tons of those out
Yep.
there, and that's a whole different ball of wax as
Yeah.
far as disposal. And we actually have a company. Someone donates the money to pay a company
For the
that will pick
sharps.
these up, but keep them separate,
Right,
you know,
right.
and we keep them separate, and a professional company comes and picks those up for us.
one of the things I haven't really touched on yet because it just kind of came to my mind is the danger with kids
Yeah.
in a house that's
Yeah.
got some of these drugs. I mean, if you're a person that needs some high-powered painkillers or things like that, okay. But what if a kid mistakes one of these things for an aspirin or experimental?
Well, yeah, and a lot of the prescriptions now, they look just like candy, and we've
Yeah.
actually had a lot of great stories come through from, you know, just people all over Muskegon that have said and that have given us, you know, really powerful stories on how, for example, if, you know, they had some expired Pepto-Bismol in their cabinet and, you know, the daughter had a tummy ache, and so the mom gave her the Pepto-Bismol, and after taking a second look at it, it was actually green, and the child had to be rushed to the ER because it had been sitting in her medicine cabinet for so long. I mean, things like that.
Pepto-Bismol? Really?
Things like that do happen, and that's the thing. There is an expiration date, and then after that certain expiration date, there's a good chance where that medication is no longer, you know, it's no
Effective.
longer effective. Sure.
And can be dangerous. Yeah.
The early days were the best, so I'll give you, well, just made me think of it, there's some other ways they can check on the information. We have a website, mamdp.com.
Okay.
And there's also Facebook, Muskegon Area Medication.
We'll link all that here.
Yeah, of course you will.
I do that.
Hello, you're a professional.
Right.
But the early days of this, we got so much old medication.
Yeah.
It was hilarious. We got stuff from the 20s and the 30s and the 40s and the 50s. We got stuff from China. We
Yeah.
got stuff from Russia.
Yeah.
And it was like, come on, look at that, look at holy cow, you know, and it's like, you know, I mean, they just had like, you know, poison, you know, in a glass jar with skull and crossbones. And
Yeah.
it's like, you know, don't use more than 4 teaspoonfuls. You're like, holy crap, is that how they did it in the day?
We talked about this last year, and I was down at Affinia Health, if I'm not mistaken, and they had a suitcase full of all that old-timey stuff.
Yeah.
And I mean, wasn't there one that was like had a cocaine derivative in it that they still had the box?
Right.
Crazy how things have changed over the years, huh? Let's get down to the event. It's Saturday. It's coming up at the Norton Shores Fire Department. When to when again?
So the event takes place this coming Saturday, April 29th from 9 a.m. to 1 p.m. at Norton Shores Fire Department.
Perfect. You'll be there.
Yeah,
Yeah?
sure will.
You'll have the weekend off because you're the boss.
I'll be there. But I want to make note that it is the fire station on Honolulu Road.
Yeah.
We have several fire
Yep.
stations.
Been out there a couple of times too.
Yeah, they don't have to get out of the car. When she says drive through, it's drive through.
That's it.
Drive through. Give you a clipboard, take what's in your hands. They sort it out into different areas just for tracking to see, you know. And there's a ton of education that's come with this
Sure.
beyond just us and the people. I mean, they're educating some, you know, doctors on overprescribing and stuff. I mean, it's an issue. I mean, some of the numbers, some of the meetings we go to when they talk about, you know, Muskegon County having, you know, 200 million pills prescribed a year kind of
Crazy.
gets your attention or
Isn't
whatever
that
the number
something
is.
to think?
It's something that just blows your mind.
Absolutely
yeah.
unbelievable. I'm going to do this again. mamdp.com is the place. I read it. I can't remember that kind of stuff anymore. It's Saturday at the Honolulu Fire Department in Norton Shores. Chief Gale, thank you very much.
Thank
You've
you.
got some concerts this weekend. You're going to be at the Frohenthal as well, and you are probably going to...
Yeah, I'll be there.
Somewhere?
Making the place look good. you
Where,
know.
Frohenthal?
No, I'm going to be there at the event.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
No, not that event. I'm talking about this weekend.
Standing there
This
and looking
weekend.
Yeah.
Yeah, I got a
Harris
50th
please-
birthday party up north. That's it.
He pleads the fifth.
That's right.
Bring those drugs back. All the details are right here. You'll find all the links on Positively Muskegon. Thanks, guys.
pretty. Great,
Thank
thank you.